I've been running from my problems so long, so ashamed of the situation, doing it so low. I was feeling so numb, I was so far gone. The Lord stepped in and now my old season is done. I need to exhale. I just need to.
Yo, welcome to the Lit Podcast, where we motivate, inspire, help you when you're feeling low, and also help you to know God. Welcome. As God was giving me, it was preparing me for this message this morning, I got like a, quick revelation. I was at Napa Auto Parts, and unfortunately I had to get some spark plugs, pretty much do a tune-up on my truck, because my truck is missing badly. And I don't want to get stopped on the road, or, my truck stopped on the road, or anything like that. So, getting these spark plugs, purchasing the spark plugs, and when he came up with the total, I made this face, and I was like, oh man, this is eating up my pocketbooks. But I know it's got to get done. And then he was up there talking about, well, we could probably give you the cheaper brand, which is like, $4.99 per spark plug. But then I realized that no, if I get cheaper spark plugs and spark plug wires, I'm gonna end up replacing them again anyway. So I might as well get the ones that are like a few dollars more, because if a V8 truck, you need about 8 of them plus spark plug wires and everything. And so I was like, you know what? I might as well get the ones that come manufactured, to the truck. It's better that way, because they're gonna last a lot longer, because they, hold a particular value. With those parts that goes directly, from the manufacturer. And then he was like, I don't know why he said this. He was like, lucky that you don't have a Mercedes Benz. And I was like, correct, because I know Mercedes, you can't just get them parts anywhere. Your Bentley, Rolls Royce, Aston Martin, you can't just pull up, to an AutoZone and just get those parts that's gonna work for those model cars. And then we was just sitting there talking. He was like, yeah, a Benz is gonna at least have like 32 or 16 to 32 spark plugs, because it's gonna be two per coil. And so it's like, wow, you gotta, and just think about, if a Chevy spark plugs, AC Delco is around $9.99 or $14.99, just imagine how much a Mercedes Benz or Rolls Royce or Aston Martin, Maserati, you can imagine how much those cost. Those can range from $20 for a small spark plug. Especially if it's a Mercedes AMG with all the horsepower and all this other stuff. So you imagine that those are going to cost a lot. It's like, why do they cost so much? It's because Mercedes holds their value. Yeah, Mercedes, those luxury cars, they hold value. And I'm going to just let you know today that you are valuable. You got to see yourself as that Mercedes. God sees you as precious. God sees you as, rare. God knows you, and he loves you, and he sees you as valuable. And I was like, wow, valuable. And I did like this, comparison and contrast this morning when God was giving me this message. I looked up a 2019 Mercedes-Benz with 24,000 miles, 19 miles per gallon in the city, and 24 on the highway. And even though it's a 2019 Mercedes, same sedan, it's worth $89,000. I was like, wow. So this 2019 is 3 years old. It's worth still $89,000. Just imagine if it was how it was brand new with no mileage on it. It'll probably be at least in the 100,000s. Probably just a little bit more than that. And this was a basic Mercedes. This wasn't like the AMG or nothing like this. This was a base model. $89,000. And you would think to yourself that, why would I want, something like that, especially if I'm on the go, man, I need a little bit more miles per gallon and stuff like that. Well, I need something a little bit more, fuel efficient. Well, you got a 2019 Honda Accord. It's has 24,000 miles on it as well, and the price range from that one is $23,000 to $35,000. And it gets 30 miles per gallon in the city, 38 on the highway. Now, I drive, my doctors and stuff, and I go to therapy. They, far out. They are far. So I will go with a Honda, fast, quick, in a hurry. Matter of fact, that's just a side note. So if you're searching for a car, I know you want to fly it, you want to stun and everything, but man, you might want to think, twice on the Mercedes as far as like gas mileage wise. Now, if you ain't really driving nowhere, going a lot of places, okay, Mercedes is where you at, especially if you can't afford it. And I was like, wow. And I looked up the brand new Honda, in 2019 with no mileage. It's like, 40,000. So in those 3 years with just 24,000 miles, it depreciated that much. Versus a Mercedes is 89,000, and I think when I looked it up, I did say that I didn't really know the range, but when I looked it up, it was like 95,000. I mean, not 95,000, it was 92,000. So it didn't depreciate by that much. But the starting for Honda is like 23, so it depreciated a lot just in those 3 years. That's because when Mercedes make their cars, or you know what, let's go with Rolls-Royce. When Rolls-Royce make their cars, they handmade, leather, not pleather, not that fake stuff. It's leather, the heated seats. Since we're more in the digital age, it's got all the console with the digital everything. Now you got cars where you can take your phone and you can charge it and all this other stuff. You got to have a big battery on it. Sunroof, it just looks amazing. They put time and effort to make this car worth. To make this car worth $500,000 or $1 million. Just a car alone. Some of these cars are more than houses. They're worth more than a house. And so they put that much value because they see that we have a brand. And in order for us to, I don't know why my allergies is messing with me this morning. The devil is a lie. We have to protect this brand. So we put good quality things. With that being said, God has put good quality things inside of you. He gave you his spirit. That is valuable. That is priceless. He gave you his spirit. And you are valuable. And I was like, wow, I am valuable. And with that, you are beautiful. The podcast is most of the time is impromptu. So I don't know what I'm going to say. Just Lord, the Lord is leading me. But you are beautiful. You are beautiful inside and out. God sees you as beautiful inside and out. And you have to see yourself that way. Once you see yourself as beautiful inside and out, no matter what people say, no matter how bad your past was, you are beautiful inside and out. With that being said, let's go to Song of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 7. Song of Solomon 4:7. And I'm going to read the New Living Translation. You are altogether beautiful, my darling. Beautiful in every way. Now, if you know the context of, chapter 4 in Song of Solomon, he's talking about it's the bridegroom, speaking to the bride. He was showing that, his wife that, hey, that you are beautiful, that you are put together, flaws and all. You might be like, well, I've got a lot of stuff going on. I've acted ugly towards people in my life. The bridegroom is like, I love you. You are beautiful. Flaws in all. And that's what God is saying to you on the day. I love you. You are beautiful. Flaws in all. And once you know that you are beautiful, you know that you are worth it. Do not settle for less. You are worth it. Do not settle for less. With that being said, we're gonna go to 1 Samuel 5. No, take that back. 1 Samuel 16:7. I don't know why I said 5. 1 Samuel 16:7. The word of God says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look at his appearance or his physical stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks into," this right here, "the heart." You know, for so many years, I was so insecure about my height. Especially when I was like, you know what? I want to be married one day. I started talking to women. I would have this, because I've been rejected so many times about my height. They was like, well, you're a good person, but I want somebody, tall and stuff like that. And I was like, wait a second, I got all the good qualities, but because I'm not tall enough, okay. But that really hurt me, insecurity. And I was always, looking at, myself in the mirror like, I wish I'd be taller. Lord, why am I not taller? My dad's a little taller than me. My brother's, he might be a little bit taller than me. Why I seem like I'm, the short, and why I keep on getting rejected and stuff. I was very insecure about my height. But then I had to think about that, dude, you are worth it, bro. Like, I had to literally tell myself that you are worth it. Don't settle for less. Because those women in the past, they wasn't for you. If they have that attitudes towards you, why would you want to be with that in the first place? All it's going to end up is in, disappointment and heartbreak and stuff like that. So why would you want to, put yourself through that? Because guess what? God said it doesn't matter about your physical appearance. You mess around and be the prettiest woman, the prettiest man, and all this other stuff on earth. God doesn't see that, because you can be the prettiest, the handsomest, and all this other stuff, and still have a ugly heart. That's why God looks at the heart. God looks at the heart. A person looking good outwardly can be ugly inwardly. A person looking good outwardly can be ugly inwardly. And this is just like, for example, a woman saying that, hey, I want somebody, I'll say 6'2", 6'5", something like that. And she's every bit of 5'4", 5'5". And she has a heart for God. And I don't know why. I'm glad I had this water right here. And she has a heart for God. She's serving him every day. She's praying all the time. She's praying for a husband. She meets with somebody, and he is the total opposite. She is like, hey, I've been praying for this man, but because of the fact that she don't want to stay lonely anymore, she compromises. She settled for less. Then she starts to get to where, maybe I can pray for him to receive salvation. Maybe I can pray for him to come to knowing the Lord. But if you pray for him already, that you want him to be, a man of God, love God more than he loves you, and sets God above, everything else. Because once a man sets God above everything else, guess what? He will be able to know how to deal, you know, with any issues or oppositions or trials and tribulations that come their way, and he can be able to be a good leader. But then you saying, well, I'm tired of being alone, and you just compromise. And then you find yourself years, later dealing with a person that does not want to change. That does, yes, his physical statue is good. Her physical statue is lovely. But guess what? God said that I refuse them. It doesn't matter what you look like, because he looks into your heart. So if you're a person that's, looking for someone, make sure that person has a real good heart. Make sure that person has a good heart. And with them, you know what? Do not compromise who you are to appease someone else. Do not compromise who you are to appease someone else. If you're a person that likes to laugh, that likes to have fun, don't tone it down because the other person they want to just be like, why you do that all the time? Why you gotta act up? Why you gotta act out? You are a person that likes to have fun. You laugh loud. If you're a person that's goofy, laugh. Because laughter is good for the soul. I don't know about you, but I'm a person that likes to laugh. I would love to, be around a woman that has a great personality, that's goofy and crazy just like I am. So, Lord, send me that woman. But you have to be yourself. You stay being yourself. Don't worry about, what others think. You be you. With that being said, that now it's time to get a little serious. You are not damaged goods. I'm gonna say that again. You are not damaged goods. Let's go to John 4:7. John 4:7. I hope this is helping someone out this morning, that you are valuable. John 4:7. I'm going to read verse 7 through 10. The word of God says, a woman of Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, give me a drink, for his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food. Then the woman of Samaria said to him, how is it that you, being a Jew, ask a drink from me, a Samaritan woman? For Jews have no dealing with Samaritans. They're saying that, hey, we ain't even supposed to be kicking. I ain't even supposed to be talking to you. Why are you even talking to me? I don't even feel worthy of me even talking to you. Verse 10 says, Jesus answered and said to her, if you knew the gift of God, for who it is, who he says to you, give me a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water. Let's kind of go back to where he was talking about Samaritans and Jews. God doesn't care what race you are. He doesn't care about your background. He doesn't care if you was born with a silver spoon in your mouth or you was born in the hood or in the projects. He doesn't care. He says, you just come to me any way you are, just the way you are. Broke it, busted, and disgusted. Or if you rich and all this other stuff, come to me anyway. I still want to have a conversation with you. Just sit. I just want to fellowship with you. That's how the Messiah sees it. He just come. Just come. We're going to skip down to verse 16. Jesus said to her, go call your husband and come here. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Jesus said to her, You have well said, I have no husband, for you have had 5 husbands, and the one whom you now have is not your husband. That you spoke truly. So Jesus knew all of her garbage. Jesus knew all of her baggage. Jesus knew. He said, "Yo, you had 5 husbands. Oh, he was all in her business." Did that deteriorate him from saying, "Hey, I'm still want to fellowship with you"? Did that deteriorate him? Did he say, "You know what? I already know your business. I already know." He could have been like, "Well, you're so unclean and stuff like that. Well, I don't even want to fellowship with you." If he didn't have that attitude towards the Samaritan woman, what gives us the right to do that same thing towards anyone else? To judge them. To say that, well, you did a lot of things in your life. You're nothing. You're worthless. You're pretty much damaged goods. If he didn't do that to her, what gives us the right to do that, towards another person? God still loves you even if you have high mileage. Yeah, I'm just be real. You might be a person in the past that, you slept with, many women, or a woman sleeping with many women, stuff like that, and you have high mileage. Guess what? God doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if you have high mileage. He even knew the Samaritan woman. He even knew that she had, different men and stuff like that. He was like, I don't care. I still want to fellowship with you. And that's the attitude that we have to have. But God still loves you even though you have high mileage. Now I'm about to, flip this on you. Now, a car that has high mileage, even though they was like, this car has, it could be a Toyota, it has 300,000 miles on it. You like, it's ready for this. This motor is about to go out. It's done. Guess what? That high mileage car can be restored. That high mileage car can be restored. All you have to do is change out some parts. Yeah. If you really want that motor can be restored, change out a few parts. Change out, the intake. Put better oil in it. Change out the cams, the injectors. Change all this. Even if you really want it to be brand new, change out the motor completely. You can do that. You can take an old car that has high mileage and restore it. Just like Jesus can take a person that feels like they have been damaged goods, they've been rejected by the world, and clean them up. Let's go to Psalm 51 and 10. Psalm 51 and 10. Psalm 51 and 10. I'm going to read 10 through 12. It says, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renewed a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me away from your presence, and do not take your Holy Spirit from me." Here comes the verse 12. "Restore in me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me by your generous spirit." He says, create in me a clean heart. God can come in and create in you a clean heart, because that's what he sees. He said, you know what? You probably thinking, you know what? I done so much bad stuff in my life. I don't think that I'm worthy. I don't think that I'm valuable. I don't think that, that I mean anything like that. But God sees you as beautiful. He sees you as valuable. You are not damaged goods because he loves you. You are beautiful, and he can restore you. He can cleanse you. He can make you new again in the spirit. You are valuable. So that is the message on the day. You are valuable. tune in, to the Lit Podcast. Y'all, let me just shout this out. I have just dropped a new CD, Lost in Transition Volume 2, DLS Music. You can find it on all streaming platforms. It's my testimony of what I've been going through in the last, 4 to 5 years. I mean, it's definitely going to be a blessing. If you want reading material that's going to really help you, check out my book called Reflections. You can go on Amazon, type in my name, Derrick Silmon, DerrickSilmon, and look for Lost in Transition Reflections, or you can get the purchase the book on my website, dsilmon.com, DSILMON.com. And if you want different inspirational shirts wear, you can also purchase from my clothing line, Reflections Wear, also on dsilmon.com. It's the Lit Podcast. Stay blessed, stay pursuing, stay focused. I'm out.
Running, 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 I'm running, 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 I'm running, 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 I'm running. I've been running from my